Hi everyone, we're going to use the given coordinates to determine if triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. So the first thing I'm going to do is find the distance between A and B and D and E. So AB, the distance, we'll just call the distance like that, equals the square root, and the distance formula is here, x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1. You just have to make sure you're going in the right order. So I'll start with this. So it's going to be 2 minus 1 squared plus 0 minus 1 squared. And that's going to give you square root of 1 plus 1, which equals square root of 2. Now that should match what we do here. So the distance of DE. And I'll go in the same direction. So I'm going to start with E first. So 4 minus 3 squared plus 0 minus 1 squared. So that equals square root of 1 plus 1, which equals the square root of 2. So that's one side. Now we have to do BC with EF. So we're going to do the distance of BC, which equals negative 1. No, start with x first. So that's going to be doing BC. So this is going to be 1 minus 2 squared plus negative 1 minus 0 squared minus 0 squared. So that's going to be same thing pretty much. 1 plus 1 equals square root of 2. So these two should also be the square root of 2. So distance of EF, and that's going to be 3 minus 4 squared plus negative 1 minus 0 squared, and that equals square root of 1 plus 1, which equals the square root of 2. So these two match. So we can say these two sides are congruent and these two sides. So the last thing we need to do is do AC and DF. So we're going to do distance of AC. So that's going to be 1 minus 1 squared plus negative 1 minus 1 squared. So that equals square root of 0 plus 2 squared. So that's going to be square root of 4, which equals 2. So that means DF should be the same. So we do the distance of DF, and that's going to be 3 minus 3 squared plus negative 1 minus 0 squared. And let's see. Negative 1 minus 1. Negative 1 minus 1 squared. So that's going to be same thing. 0 plus 2 squared equals the square root of 4, which equals 2. And those two sides match. So this would be a yes, because all sides are the same, so it's congruent. Now for number 12, let's try the same thing. Hopefully we're going to get the distance of AB first. So that's going to be, I'm start with the 4. 4 minus 1 squared plus 1 minus 2 squared, and that equals square root of 3 squared plus a negative 1 squared. So that's going to be square root of 9 plus 1 equals square root of 10. So since we did AB, we have to do DE. So let's do the distance from DE, So let's see what that's going to be. 4 minus 3 squared plus 0 minus 1 squared. So that equals 1 squared plus negative 1 squared, which equals the square root of 2. Since these don't match, these two lengths, the AB with the DE, this is not congruent. And that's it. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Weezy,